Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Joviana De Jesus, and if you're not, thank you so much for tuning in again. So today on my channel, we're doing this look right here. It is a halo spotlight eye that's super fall time, and I love it. I kind of wanted to do something like pumpkin spice inspired. So this is what I came up with. I did use a new foundation on this video. It is the Anastasia foundation. I gave you guys a review, so if you want to find out how to create this eye look and see what I think about this foundation, then just keep on watching. Alright guys, we're going to get started pretty close. We're already primed with our Urban Decay primer, and we've got a powder over it so that we can smoothly blend things out. We're going to get started today on this look right here. I've already done one eye off camera just so I kind of have an idea of what's going on. We're going to start with our Fierce by Nature Morphe palette. It's a 3503. We're going to start by picking up this color right here. It is called Ferocious, and it's this color right there. We're going to put that all over our crease just as kind of like our backup color. It really does lay out a nice foundation for us so that we can start to create a shape that we like. So I'm going to take that on a Morphe JH 32, the Morphe collaboration with Jaclyn Hill. It looks like this. It's a lot smaller than what my usual first brush is, just because I want a little more control with the halo eye. I don't want it going up so high. So I'm going to start by placing the brush in the outer corner. And again, that's just because most of the product gets deposited when you first lay down your brush, and I like that to be the outer corner. The intensity builds up there and then just kind of spread it out as you get closer into the inner corner. So I'm going to take circular motions and blend that in. So with the color being built up like that there, we're going to take the same color, just a different brush. This guy here is the JH 34, and as you can see, it's got more of a point to it. It's going to help me get into this inner corner and kind of work that color up in the crease. Same color, Ferocious. We're just going to take that. This has got more of a point to it, so it really does help target specific areas, and even the crease, like this orange, will look completely different with this brush just because of the difference in the shape. Okay, great. So using that same brush, we're going to take that into the palette again, and we're going to switch up the colors. This color is called Ignition, and it's this one right here. It's like a burnt brick red. It's so pretty. That's going to help us to kind of warm up the crease a little more. With this color, I'm going to focus most of it in the inner and outer corner of this eye look, and then we are going to help them meet in the middle just so that we get a good blend. And I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before, but I always keep a nice clean brush. This is a blending brush. It's a Soho blending brush. It has no product on it. I just keep it around so that I can continue to soften up all of my edges as I blend and as I add depth to the look. And that's really important because you want everything to look blended, cohesive, and smoothed out. Okay, great. So we're going to go and continue to deepen this look up just a tiny little bit. I'm going to use a smaller brush for that, and that is the JH 40, which looks like this right here. And we're going to take that into the color Stamina, which is this brown that's right here. So this one, I really just want to pat into the outer and inner corner, and then kind of like wiggle and blend up as I go to diffuse the colors. I'm trying to bring that into the lid and keep it in the lid while blending it up into the crease. But the majority of your product should be on your lid. And then I always take a step back, stop for a second, and compare the two to make sure that we are kind of following suit, and that one is not more intense, one's not more built up than the other. Okay, great. So we're gonna stop right there. We're gonna continue to blend it, kind of deepen it up a little bit, but we're gonna go ahead and start working on this center spotlight. And I'm gonna go back into my Urban Decay primer. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that directly to my eyelid. I am not going to use a brush for this. And I will kind of stop for a second, look up, and just kind of let it naturally stamp where it wants to be. And once I've done that, I'm actually going to take my finger and we are going to pat that in and work it into the lid. With the halo spot eye, it's a little different than the cut crease. I know that there are plenty of ways to do it, but I just feel like when you put it down like this and just kind of pat it in and work it in with your finger, it tends to fall a little natural. Fall the natural shape, or the placing isn't so stiff and so harsh, and it's easier for me personally to blend out versus me using a brush and kind of like perfectly making it go where it's supposed to. That's perfect for right now. So next step is I'm going to take a flat brush like this guy here. This is the Jaclyn Hill Morphe Collection JH41 brush, and it's a flat brush, but it's still got some body to it, like it's pretty thick, which I like because it'll help me really pack the color on and it won't be so flimsy. So I'm going to take the color Frenzy, which is a very pretty shimmery gold color right here. And when packing on lip colors, you know, you want to pat, 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 and swipe. And I will place on the edges and I will bring into the center with this type of look, with this type of placement. Okay, just like that, we got the base, and then I do want some glitter for this look. As you can see there, we've got plenty of glitter reflection going on. So we're gonna take this color Make Believe in the palette, which is this guy right here. And this is straight up glitter. There is no pigment behind it, at least that I can see. So we're gonna take that, we're gonna pack it over this color using our finger. And so I push pretty firmly down the color in the palette, and then I'm gonna do the same thing when I get to my eyelid. It's just press and swipe, and the warmth of your finger really does help to pick up the color. The last step that you definitely want to do is blend those rough edges and blend the lines together. So I'm going to take this brush right here. This is a BH Cosmetics number 7 brush, and I'm going to take the last 2 shades that we used, which is that brick red and the brown, and we are going to soften out these lines in the corners just so that it looks a little more blended, a little more pieced together. And I'm even going to go back into that last brush that we used with the brown. All right, cool, cool. So I definitely want to throw on some liner, and I'm not going to wing it out. It's not going to be a thick line. I'm just going to do something to tight line and to make sure that I have something for the lashes to kind of blend into. And then I will be right back on camera. I'm going to use my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in Demolition. I've been loving using brown eyeliner instead of black eyeliner recently on my eyelid, just because I feel like it's warmer, it's more appropriate for fall, but then it's also softer of a look. I'm not really, I don't know, preference-wise, I'm not really into a thick cat eye wing. So we'll do that, and I'm gonna put on my KoKo lashes in Queen Bee, which look like this. If you guys haven't checked out KoKo lashes yet, you definitely need to check out KoKo lashes. These are super inexpensive, high quality lashes. They're about $8, $9, and you get a decent amount of uses out of these lashes. So anyways, let me stop talking. I'm gonna come back on camera and I'll put my eyeliner and lashes off camera. Be right back. Okay guys, so we are all done with the eyes. Look how pretty those lashes are on. They're just wispy enough that they give you a little bit of drama, but they're not ridiculous. They're easy to hide. The band isn't super thick. Do you see the difference that that liner made is huge. That being said, let's move on because I'm super excited for Complexion. So today our primer duo is going to be the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer Mattifying Base, and the other one is going to be the L'Oreal Magic Lumi. Do you have to use 2 primers at all times? No, I prefer that because I'm combination skin. But not only that, it's just it helps me get the finish that I want as far as luminous, but not being a super glowy, dewy foundation. I tell my clients this all the time just because a lot of, even my dry skin clients don't necessarily want a super hydrating, glowy finish to their skin. They still want to look matted, blurred out, not greasy looking, and that's a great way to do it, is to kind of play with your bases a little bit. So if you know you're someone who is dry but you still want a luminous base, use a luminous finish, I'm sorry, use something like the Magic Lumi by L'Oreal underneath to help your skin be hydrated and glowy and luminous, but then still use your demi matte foundation formula, and then obviously prep your skin well. Skin prep is a huge part of the way that your makeup wears, and I cannot stress that enough to clients when I'm at work. So make sure you're using hydrating moisturizers like the Drunk Elephant moisturizer with the pump, the Protini. You want to make sure that you're using something that's got vitamin C, or maybe a little bit of like the Ulla Hendrickson primer that's got the vitamin C and the banana extract that really helps to brighten. So it's going to hydrate your skin, it's going to brighten, it's going to prevent scarring and treat with the vitamin C, and then you're also going to be able to wear foundations like the matte ones or whatever the case is over top of that, okay? So we've already got our primers on, which is great, and today we're going to try out this guy right here. This is the Anastasia Luminous Foundation, and I'm in the shade 240N. I'm hoping. I haven't tried it out yet. I'm going to try it for the first time on camera. So you get this guy here. It is 1 fluid ounce, and so it is said to be a medium to full coverage foundation. I've heard really good reviews on it so far. I just haven't had a chance to try it myself. I'm going to start off with 2 pumps and see how I feel about that. And you guys know the drill. I'm going to work it in with a brush, and then we are going to push it into the skin with a sponge. The brush I'm using today is by Morphe, and that's the M439 brush. And I would definitely say it's more on the fuller than the medium coverage. It definitely has a lot of coverage. I'm going to take 1 more pump, and I'm going to go in and just kind of perfect with my beauty sponge here by Morphe. So this foundation really is not super dewy and glowy, which I don't mind, because I don't like them being super glowy, super dewy. So far I like it. Item we're gonna try is our concealer, and I think I am so excited. I love complexion, period. Like, I love my complexion looking flawless, but these products I'm super excited to try is the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer, and I'm in the shade Nude. You also get 0.5 ounces. I love that the applicator is huge on this guy. It just covers a lot more space. The formula on this is insane. I know I haven't used it on my channel, but I recommend it to clients all the time because it is such a good formula. It is great for contouring. It's great for concealing. I mean, if you're someone who just wants to use a concealer, this baby is like perfect for that too. It's got a diamond shaped applicator, so it stores most of the product like right in the center as you go. So there's like a never-ending supply on this thing, which is insane. I love it. Didn't have to re-dip. I just used whatever was on there, which is great. So I'm gonna go ahead and start by blending this out. With this look, I'm not gonna clean it up too much on the outer corner. I'm gonna leave it a little messy just because it's still a pretty blown out, smoky look. But feel free to take this time and just kind of clean up with the concealer as you go. But this is a concealer on. A little bit went a really long way. So to set that today, I'm gonna use my Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder. It's this guy right here. I get it at the drugstore. I love to use this to set the face. It is such an absorbent, blurring powder, and even throughout the day, you'll notice that it's still reinforcing your makeup as you get hot or humid, or as the day goes by. It's just amazing. So I'm gonna take that using a powder puff, and I always just make sure that I push the powder onto the lid like this. I like to break it up a little more. This is not such a finely milled powder. It is a little heavier on the skin, so if you're someone who's dry, I would definitely stay away from this powder. But because I get oily on my T-zone, I don't mind having that powder on there because it really is a huge help. So all the areas that I just got done putting my concealer, I'm gonna take the time to put this powder in. But these are definitely the areas that get very oily and greasy looking throughout the day for me, so I don't like having a little bit of extra reassurance there. So we're gonna put that there, and we're gonna leave it there because we're gonna move on to our contouring. And so for contouring lately, I've been using this guy here. This is the Milk Flex Foundation Stick. I use this guy just because it is in the shade medium tan, and I'm supposed to be able to get it as a foundation, but it's too dark, so I use it to contour, and the formula is just amazing. So I put it on right above the cheekbones and on the forehead area. And I'm gonna blend it out. For blending this out, I love using this BH Cosmetics brush. It's a #1 brush. It's an angled, stiff brush. It's amazing for cream products because it blends them out. All right, so since that is on there, we are gonna set with powders, but I just wanna make sure I clean up that line underneath. Using that same Coty Airspun powder and my beauty sponge now because I like the flat, sharp line here. I'm gonna just push that edge up against that contour, and we're going to clean it up a little bit before we go in with the powders. While that is setting and going there, we are going to finish off our under eye area. And so what I'm basically going to do is just whatever I did to the top, I'm going to do to the bottom, but I'm going to start off by using a smaller brush, and that's going to be this guy right here. So this is that JH60 or 40 that we use to do the darker part of the halo. We're going to use that with that brick red color first. Okay, just like that. And then I'm gonna actually take a stiff brush, and I love this guy here. It's pretty stiff there, and this is the JH43 brush, and we're gonna take that dark brown right up against the lash line here. For the lower lash line, instead of using that dark brown color as liner, and I know that I have been doing that recently, we're going to use this guy instead. This is the Power Pencil in Beige by ABH Luminous, and I just love that pop of color in the inner corner that this gives in the inner lash line, sorry. For inner corner highlight, I have been loving this guy right here. It's part of the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe collection. They're Vault Shadows, and this is the palette called Armed and Gorgeous. And they've got this really intense, like icy highlight shade. It's called VIP, and I've been loving that in my inner corner. So we're gonna do that today with this guy here. I take that on a Morphe M31 brush, and I just go in with that color. Intense. And I like that with the warm shadows because it's a nice contrast in my opinion. I feel like it's perfect. And I just make sure that I work it in and blend it. Even though it's intense, it still has to like make sense on your eyes. How pretty is that? I love that contrast. It is like legit my favorite. Okay, great. So the next thing we're gonna do is just clean up and take off all this bakage. And I'm gonna very lightly set my foundation with some powder. Not that I need it because it's got really good coverage, but I just want to make sure it sits on my skin. I've got a really long day, so I'm just going to take a compact. I've got clean this up here. Oh, and this brush I'm using is amazing. It is the BH Cosmetics V11. I love this brush. For one, dusting off the excess powder under here because it gets it without leaving like residue. And two, for applying powders because it is such a nice full brush that it really does help disperse all of that powder. I'm gonna go in one more step and just use a smaller brush here in the inner corner. And I also take time with this brush to just kind of clean up that outer edge in case I was still a little sloppy with it. Perfect. Okay, great. So let's move on to our contour, and with the contour we're going to use this Real Techniques brush right here. It is their contouring brush, and we're going to go in with our NYX palette. This palette is honestly a very good palette. You've got plenty of contouring slash bronzing shades. If you're someone who does makeup professionally and you have your clients, that is a great palette for your set, for your kit, because it does have a lot of different contouring tones. So I'm going to take the darkest and the, well, I should probably show you. So I'm going to take this guy, and I'm going to take this guy here, and I'm going to use that to contour up and kind of carve out my cheeks a little bit. I don't really need warmth because the Milk Stick did that, but I do need some structure. So I take it under my chin, cheekbones, and then we also do a little bit on the forehead, the temple area. Do it in the shape of an E, if you will, or a 3, depending on the side that you're doing it on. So it's forehead, cheekbone, chin, just to give you a nice, even contour. All right, next up we're gonna do our bronzer, and for bronzer I'm gonna use this brush right here. This is the BH Cosmetics 2, and I do wanna mention that BH Cosmetics has really nice brush sets. All the brushes that I've been using that have this like marbleized holder here are by BH Cosmetics, and they came in a kit, and it was really inexpensive. So if you guys are looking for a new brush kit, that is an amazing one. I'm gonna take the bronzing shade of that that NYX palette, and I'm just gonna slightly go over everything. I don't really need, honestly, more color on my face. I just wanna make sure that everything is set and even. And powders over each other look a little better than just a powder over a cream, so that just sets it. You guys, again, don't really need to do the powder over the cream and so forth. It's just whatever you feel like you need. I just love the way that this looks. I do take, obviously I'm on camera, I'm gonna get off camera and take some pictures. And I just love the way that it looks. I go to the store, for a really long day, it really just helps. I have the creams underneath the powders to help reinforce. So you could do either or depending on your skin type, your preference. I love the way both look. I'm gonna take the bronzing shade and that first pale brown shade to contour my nose. And for contouring your nose, I just take that from the very bend here and I drag it in just to help give me a natural contour. Nothing too intense. And then even after I'm done with that, I'll go back to the brush I used to just kind of dust off the excess powder here and go over it some more. Okay, great. For highlight today, we're gonna use a Wet n Wild highlighter. This guy right here is called Bloom Time by them, and it is a very pretty pinky champagne-y highlight, and it looks amazing on my skin. So here we go. I'm gonna take that with a Morphe M501 brush. I love that for highlight. I'm gonna pack the brush with the highlight color, and we are going to go with that highlight. I actually have a MAC Extra Dimension blush in just a pinch, and it's this color right here. I love that it still has glowy and shimmer to it, not glitter. But I love that it's also warm and it just goes with a lot of looks. Like I gravitate towards this blush a lot. So I'm gonna take that on a BH Cosmetics 15 Studio Pro brush. I love this brush for blush. It is perfection. I'm gonna take it and I'm just gonna start by pushing it back and kind of in swiping, patting motions, pushing it back towards the skin. Start in the apples, and I just push that up towards my contour so that everything looks evened out. I love it. Yeah. Okay, cool. So once that is done, it is time to set your face, and I love, love, love this Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. It is honestly so good. The spray, like the spritzer itself, it doesn't come out chunky, it is continuous, so I can like just hold it down and I have to it'll just keep going for days, and that's perfect. So I'm gonna use that. We're gonna let that set and dry. In the meantime, I have to go off camera and get dressed and do my hair, so I will be right back. Okay guys, I am back. This is the finished look right here. On the lips, all I did today was use this Chanel liquid lipstick, and it's in the shade Soft Rose. It's just a pretty pinky shade without it being super deep and like super heavy on the eyes. And this is it. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this look and that it was pretty simple to follow along. I am just so in love with this palette, and I hope that you don't mind that I keep using it, but it's just a great palette for this time of year because it's got all the warm tones. You can create all these beautiful, glamorous looks, but yet keep it simple at the same time if you wanted to. So anyways, I am all done. I will see you guys next week. Don't forget to look me up on Instagram. It's Joviana de Jesus. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe so you can see the next videos coming up in the next few weeks. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.